What if the relentless pursuit of wealth, status, and external validation, the very definition of success for so many, is built on a profound misunderstanding? What if the life you're striving for is a carefully constructed illusion, leading you further from genuine fulfillment, not closer? This isn't a New Age platitude. It's an ancient warning, largely ignored. Seneca would argue that this modern definition isn't just precarious, it's fundamentally flawed. He saw that tying one's happiness and sense of self-worth to things that can be taken away by fortune, wealth, health, reputation, even life itself, is a recipe for perpetual unrest. He proposed that true success is an internal state, an achievement of character, completely independent of the whims of fate. For Seneca, the cornerstone of a successful life, the only true good, is virtue. Virtue encompasses wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. It's about the moral excellence of one's character, the quality of one's choices and actions. This is not something that can be bought or bestowed. It must be cultivated from within through diligent practice and self-reflection. It is the ultimate internal asset. From this foundation of virtue arises inner freedom, freedom from the tyranny of desires, freedom from fear of misfortune, freedom from dependence on external approval. This is the Stoic concept of ataraxia or tranquility, a profound state of serene calmness, unperturbed by life's storms. This, Seneca argued, is the emotional hallmark of a truly successful individual. Wisdom, for Seneca, was not mere intellectual knowledge but the practical understanding of how to live well. It involves distinguishing what is within our control, our thoughts, judgments, and actions, from what is not external events. Reason is our guiding faculty, enabling us to navigate life's complexities with clarity and to live in harmony with nature and our own rational capacities. This is an active, not passive, state. This leads to one of Stoicism's most challenging tenets: indifference to externals. Things like health, wealth, reputation, pleasure, and pain are considered indifferent because they are not essential for virtue or happiness. While some externals might be preferred, like health over sickness, they should never be the basis of our well-being or define our success. This is a radical departure from modern values. So if success isn't about accumulating these indifferents, what is it? Seneca would say it's about how you respond to them. Do you maintain your virtue when faced with poverty or illness? Do you remain humble and just when blessed with wealth or power? The true measure of success is the unwavering consistency of your virtuous character, regardless of fortune's smile or frown. Consider the modern executive stressed by market fluctuations or the influencer anxious about follower counts. Their peace is tethered to externals. Now picture Seneca's ideal, an individual whose contentment comes from within, from knowing they have acted with integrity and wisdom. This person can face financial loss, social disapproval, even physical hardship, with a resilience that the externally focused individual lacks. One of Seneca's most poignant works is On the Shortness of Life. He argues not that life is inherently too short, but that we waste so much of it on trivialities, on chasing ephemeral goals, on living for others' expectations. True success in this context means valuing and using our time wisely, dedicating it to self-improvement, meaningful pursuits, and the cultivation of wisdom, not squandering it on the acquisition of mere things. It is not that we have a short time to live, Seneca wrote, but that we waste a lot of it. Think of the hours spent on mindless consumption, on harboring resentments, on worrying about things outside our control. He urges us to reclaim this time, to invest it in activities that enrich the soul, that build our inner fortress. This reprioritization is crucial for genuine success. How then do we deal with adversity, which is an inevitable part of life? Seneca championed the practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This involves regularly contemplating potential misfortunes, illness, loss, betrayal, not to become pessimistic, but to mentally prepare to rob them of their shock value and to rehearse virtuous responses. This builds immense psychological resilience. For centuries, we've been fed a specific narrative about what it means to make it. But one Roman Stoic philosopher, a man who experienced both immense wealth and political power, and ultimately a death sentence, offered a radically different vision. His insights don't just challenge our modern ideals, they threaten to dismantle them entirely by exposing their fragile foundations. By mentally encountering and processing these potential hardships in advance, they lose their power to overwhelm us when they actually occur. It's like an emotional inoculation. The successful Stoic isn't surprised by misfortune. They are prepared. They have already considered how they will maintain their composure and virtue, transforming adversity from a crushing blow into an opportunity to practice their philosophy. Living in accordance with nature, for Stoics like Seneca, means living in accordance with reason, both our own human reason and the inherent rationality of the cosmos. It implies understanding our place in the universe, accepting what we cannot change, and fulfilling our natural human potential for virtue and social contribution. This harmony is a key component of a flourishing, successful life. This alignment with nature also involves recognizing our interconnectedness with others. Seneca emphasized cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are citizens of the world. True success, therefore, isn't selfish. It includes contributing to the common good, acting with justice and benevolence towards our fellow human beings. Our individual flourishing is linked to the flourishing of the whole, a profoundly social idea. Central to cultivating this inner success is the practice of self-reflection. Seneca advised daily examination of one's actions, thoughts, and moral progress. When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, he wrote, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by. This disciplined introspection is vital for growth. This daily audit isn't about self-flagellation, but about honest assessment and continuous improvement. Where did I act impulsively? Where could I have been more patient, more courageous, more just? By regularly asking these questions, we can identify our weaknesses, reinforce our strengths, and gradually align our lives more closely with our virtuous ideals. This is the work of true success. Another practical step Seneca advocated was the conscious limitation of desires. Modern society often fuels an insatiable appetite for more possessions, more experiences, more validation. Seneca recognized that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. True wealth, he suggested, lies not in great possessions but in few wants, a truly liberating concept. By reducing our dependence on external things for happiness, we drastically reduce our vulnerability to fortune. If your desires are simple and largely within your own power to satisfy, like the desire for knowledge or for a good character, then you are far less likely to be disappointed or anxious. This internal locus of control is a cornerstone of Stoic contentment and, by extension, success. So, how do we begin to reorient our lives towards this Senecan ideal of success? It starts with a conscious shift in perspective. Recognizing that the dominant cultural narrative about success might be misleading, and actively choosing to define success for ourselves, based on internal values rather than external accolades. This is the first, most crucial step. We can start by identifying what truly matters to us beyond societal pressures. What are our core virtues? How can we cultivate them daily? This might mean prioritizing learning over entertainment, meaningful connection over superficial networking, or acts of kindness over acts of self-promotion. It's about small, consistent choices aligned with our deeper values. It is a practice. Incorporating practices like mindfulness, journaling for self-reflection, and even Seneca's premeditatio malorum can build the mental and emotional resilience needed to navigate life's challenges without losing our inner peace. It's about training the mind to focus on what is within our control and to accept what is not, with equanimity. These are not passive exercises, but active engagements with our inner world. This isn't just about historical curiosity. The anxiety, the burnout, the pervasive sense of not enough that plagues modern life, these are symptoms. Symptoms of chasing a phantom. Seneca's philosophy offers not just a critique but a cure, a pathway to a success that is internal, unshakable, and available to everyone, regardless of their external circumstances. Critically, we must learn to manage our exposure to the relentless messaging of consumer culture and the comparison traps of social media. Seneca lived long before these modern pressures, yet his warnings about external influences and the opinions of the crowd are more relevant than ever. Cultivating inner validation is key to freeing ourselves from this modern psychological burden. This doesn't mean rejecting all material comforts or striving for asceticism, unless that is one's personal calling. Seneca himself was wealthy. The point is not the possession of wealth, but one's attachment to it, and whether it dictates one's peace of mind. The Stoic ideal is to be able to enjoy preferred indifference when they are present, but not to be disturbed by their absence. A subtle but powerful distinction. Ultimately, Seneca's philosophy of success is about building an inner citadel, a fortress of virtue, wisdom, and resilience within ourselves that remains unbreached by the storms of fortune. This inner strength becomes the source of our well-being, our contentment, and our ability to live a meaningful and purposeful life, regardless of external circumstances. It is success redefined from the inside out. The lie we've been told is that success is an external destination, a checklist of achievements. Seneca reveals that true success is an internal journey, a continuous process of self-cultivation and virtuous living. It's not about what you acquire, but about the person you become in the process. This shift in understanding is profoundly liberating and empowering. So, the modern pursuit of success often leaves us feeling anxious, inadequate, and perpetually chasing the next fleeting high. Seneca offers an antidote, a robust, time-tested framework for achieving a state of unshakable inner peace and fulfillment. It requires courage to question prevailing norms, discipline to cultivate virtue, and wisdom to discern what truly matters in the grand scheme of our short lives. The invitation from Seneca, echoing across 2 millennia, is to redefine success on our own terms, to build our lives not on the shifting sands of external validation, but on the bedrock of inner character, to seek not the applause of the crowd, but the quiet approval of our own rational conscience. This is the path to a success that is not only attainable, but also, crucially, sustainable. Key takeaways from Seneca's wisdom include the primacy of virtue as the sole good, the importance of inner freedom from passions and external dependencies, and the meaningful use of time focused on self-improvement. He taught us that resilience in adversity is built through mental preparation, and that true wealth lies in few wants, not vast possessions. These are not mere aphorisms, but profound guides. The modern emphasis on external markers, wealth, status, possessions, creates a fragile foundation for happiness, often leading to anxiety and a sense of insufficiency. Seneca exposed this fragility by highlighting how these externals are subject to fortune and beyond our complete control. His philosophy redirects our focus inward, towards building an unassailable character, which is the only true source of lasting contentment. Reflect on your own definition of success. Is it heavily weighted towards external achievements that might be vulnerable to circumstances? Or does it incorporate the cultivation of inner qualities like resilience, wisdom, and integrity? Seneca's challenge is to consciously shift that balance, to invest more heavily in the inner estate, which no external force can diminish. This is a lifelong endeavor. Consider the profound peace that could come from genuinely internalizing that your worth is not tied to your job title, your bank balance, or your social media following. Seneca believed this liberation was possible for anyone willing to engage in the philosophical work of self-mastery. The reward isn't just success, in a worldly sense, but a deep, abiding eudaimonia, human flourishing. We will journey back 2 millennia to uncover what Lucius Annius Seneca truly said about a successful life. A life defined not by what you have, but by who you are. Not by fortune's fleeting favors, but by the unwavering strength of your inner citadel. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about achievement and your own potential for a life of meaning. The question then becomes not how much can I acquire, but how well can I live with what I have, and who can I become? This reframing, inspired by Seneca, has the power to transform our daily anxieties into opportunities for growth, and our endless striving into a focused journey towards genuine, internal fulfillment. What would your life look like, guided by this ancient wisdom? The anxiety epidemic in modern society is often linked to this relentless pressure to achieve externally defined success. Seneca's teachings offer a powerful counter-narrative, that true contentment and strength are cultivated internally. By focusing on virtue, reason, and accepting what we cannot control, we build resilience against the very anxieties that modern life tends to generate. This is not escape, but empowerment. Seneca's guidance on the shortness of life is particularly cutting in an age of constant distraction. He implores us to be misers with our time, investing it in what truly enriches our souls: philosophy, self-reflection, meaningful relationships, and acts of virtue. How much of our modern busyness is truly productive in this Senecan sense, versus being a mere filling of time with activities that offer no lasting value? The practice of premeditatio malorum, premeditating adversity, might seem morbid to some, but it is profoundly practical. By mentally rehearsing difficult scenarios, we strip them of their power to shock and paralyze us. This builds a proactive resilience, allowing us to face life's inevitable setbacks not as victims, but as prepared Stoics, ready to enact our virtue even in hardship. This is strength of a rare kind. The modern pursuit of success is often a solitary, competitive endeavor. Seneca, however, stressed our interconnectedness, our duties to the cosmopolis, the human community. True success, therefore, involves not just personal virtue, but also contributing to the common good. Our inner peace is magnified when we act with benevolence and justice towards others, recognizing our shared humanity. Think of Seneca's own life. Immense power, wealth, intellect, followed by exile and a command to commit suicide by Emperor Nero. Through it all, his letters and essays reveal a mind striving for, and largely achieving, Stoic equanimity. His life itself, with its dramatic highs and lows, became a testament to the idea that true success is how one lives and dies, not what one accumulates. To reorient your life, Seneca might suggest starting small. Dedicate 15 minutes each day to reflect on your actions. Ask yourself, what fault did I cure today? What vice did I resist? In what way am I better? This consistent, honest self-appraisal is the bedrock upon which a virtuous and therefore successful life in the Stoic sense is built. The challenge Seneca poses is not to reject the world, but to engage with it from a position of inner strength and clarity. To use reason as our guide, to cultivate virtue as our highest aim, and to find freedom in detachment from outcomes we cannot control. This is a profound paradigm shift from the anxiety-ridden chase for external validation that characterizes so much of modern life. Ultimately, the lie about success is that it's something external to be won or acquired. Seneca's enduring truth is that genuine success is an internal state to be cultivated, a state of wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner freedom. This kind of success is available to anyone at any time, regardless of their circumstances, because it depends entirely on what is within our control, our own character and choices. So, as you navigate your own life, ask yourself, am I chasing fleeting shadows, or am I building an unshakable inner citadel? Am I defined by what happens to me, or by how I choose to respond? Seneca's wisdom offers not easy answers, but a timeless compass for a life of genuine meaning, purpose, and enduring success. The truth, as Seneca saw it, is that modern society's relentless chase for external rewards often leads to a gilded cage. A life rich in possessions but poor in spirit, fraught with anxiety about losing what has been gained. He argued that real success, the kind that brings lasting peace and contentment, lies in a completely different direction, one that most people today have been conditioned to overlook or even devalue. The path Seneca illuminates is challenging, requiring constant vigilance and self-discipline. Yet, it promises a reward far greater than any material gain, a tranquil mind, an indomitable spirit, and the profound satisfaction of a life lived in accordance with reason and virtue. The question remains, are we brave enough to heed his ancient call and redefine success for ourselves? To understand Seneca's profound insights, we must first understand the man and his tumultuous times. Born in Corduba, Hispania around 4 BC, Seneca was brought to Rome as a child. He rose to prominence as a statesman, a playwright, and one of the most insightful Stoic philosophers, living through the reigns of several emperors, including the infamous Nero, whom he tutored. His life was a tapestry of influence, wealth, and ultimately, peril. Stoicism, the philosophical school Seneca championed, was not an abstract intellectual exercise. It was a practical guide to living a virtuous and tranquil life, emphasizing reason, virtue, and living in accordance with nature. Stoics believed that an individual's true good lay in their character and actions, not in external events or possessions, which were considered indifferent, neither inherently good nor bad. This forms the bedrock of his views on success. Now let's dissect the success so often lauded in our contemporary world. It's typically measured by tangible achievements, a high-paying job, a large house, prestigious awards, social media influence, the accumulation of material wealth. These are the markers paraded as evidence of a life well lived, the goals toward which countless individuals are encouraged to strive from a very young age. It's a powerful, pervasive, and often unquestioned paradigm. But what is the psychological cost of this relentless pursuit? Anxiety about not measuring up, fear of losing what one has gained, a constant comparison with others, and often, a nagging feeling of emptiness even when external goals are met. This modern concept of success is heavily reliant on external validation and circumstances that are, ultimately, beyond our complete control, making it inherently precarious.